So it is my belief that anywhere you go, you will find a writer. The passion for the written word is everywhere. And when there's a passion for a written word, writers will look for a home. And that is my philosophy when introducing my platform, which is the Green Pen Society, where we can create, share, and critique our own poetry. And this is open for anyone, any character. Because if you're a lost writer and you're looking for a home, follow the GPS.
No man is an island. And so for my incoming term, I would like to prioritize building on that. Having events where we have social connections with people, and I believe that as we go into college, everything is, well, it's hell. So we need each other. And I would like to have a soul, become more encompassed with each other, because in our small, tight-knit community, I believe that every one of us can become a family.
As a CCS presidential candidate, I want us to be exposed to more knowledge about journalism through journalism workshops. And aside from that, I want our students to be exposed to other different fields of media within and outside the university. Also with my platform accessibility, we want to hear from our fellow DCLL students so that we can know how to serve you and we know how to represent you and your interests better.
So I have 4 main platforms in order to achieve my vision as a public relations officer. The first one being the CES Tracker 8, a list pertaining all the relevant details in order to aid our students in the DCLL for an easier process of tracking their CES activities. The next is the establishment of a Solaris PR committee, a consolidation of all the PR capabilities of all sub-orgs, all programs into one for our Solaris events. And the next is the DCLL member spotlight. I want to celebrate the outstanding members here in DCLL. And then the last one being the cross-program collaboration. It would entail huge promotional value for DCLL for all parties involved. So those are my plans for as a public relations officer. Thank you.
So my platform is called Financial Fortitude. With this platform, I aim to achieve 3 things. First is build trust. I want to build trust to the student body and to all of the DCLL students as well. Number 2 is to empower transparency. Everyone then has a right to know what and where their funds are being used to. And lastly is to maximize impact. So as you can hear from the other candidates, they have a lot of projects that they want to achieve and to work on, and I fully much support the amazing ideas that they have, and for that to bring to life requires the background with having to deal with the financial processes. And by running for this position, I pledge myself to make a commitment and fulfillment to honesty and clarity with a thorough record as needed.
So I have 2 platforms, or 2 goals, which is why I'm running for treasurer. First is advertising, and second is DCLL support. Now, have you seen the bulletin board na pagsaka mo? Like, what if like every week, if Sole, CCS, and Palabra, or Halagdo na sa weekly print promoting the organization, so maybe like maka-allocate ang budget para ato for consistent printing. And second is DCLL support. CCS, do you have an essay contest that you wish to partake, but it's in Maine? What if another way of showing our support is like maka-allocate lang tabi sa pamilya lang or pag-snack sila ba? And that way we can show na maka-help nila and any way they could. And also encourage more people to partake in probably inter-school competition that represents DCLL and San Carlos as a whole. So those are my 2 main goals, because I, based on my experience as a journalist, as an athlete throughout my time in the academic semester.
What I'm trying to campaign for is Project Memory Wall. It's basically just a collage of images of what we've done as an organization. Because, truth be told, Solaris and its sub-orgs have done so many events in this year pa lang alone. We can do better representation of our department by showcasing all of the events we've done by a monthly basis. This is not only for us to remember where we've come from, but it's also for those who are about to come in as well. As with everyone here with their amazing programs looking in the future, I also want to set emphasis by looking at the past and seeing how far we have come.
My platform basically talks about competence, or Carillo carries competence, C3. So, my goal is to have a wider variety of venues for events. For example, during the acquaintance party, we had to go all the way so far. During my term, I will try my best to get a bigger venue. How I plan to do this? I plan to do this by filing forms earlier. Yes, I plan on actually making filling up the forms and passing it on the first day of second semester, so that on SAS week, we won't have much to worry about unless there's actually a bias, which I hope there is. Next is the DCLL 3x3, which is the basketball event that we are supposed to have. I plan on fulfilling that by filing forms as early as possible, or actually making the forms as early as possible. That'll be all.
My platforms are actually divided into three, which will target Cienza, Virtus, and Divulgio. So for Cienza, we have Suyap sa Sining 2025, and the proposed sub-events that I have here are Bansilag and Panid. Bansilag is a proposed sub-event of Suyap sa Sining designed to promote the sub-orgs in the department more. Number 2 is Panid. It is also a sub-event designed to enrich the cultural landscape of Solaris and Suyap sa Sining. Second one is Kahil, which is Virtus. Kahil is an all-encompassing systematic approach that utilizes email or Google Forms in order to address the concerns of the students. So the third one, which targets Divulgio, is a platform with two goals. Number 1 is to be more systematic and organized, especially in the lesson plan.
I will prioritize LAAG DCLL. This is a benchmarking and promoting of our programs outside of the university and outside of Cebu. Because I believe that learning is not just in the classroom but also outside the classroom. So we can do benchmarking and at the same time promote our program so that we can have a strong alumni and widen our connections in the future.
Now, I've noticed by being under Solaris for this year that we have already collaborated with many sub-organizations, even the DCLL students, which is one of my platforms first is uniting as one. What do you mean by uniting as one? I want to unite the whole DCLL together alongside the platforms of all my officers and supports who are going to be promoting it not only for the students but also to promote our department as well. Now, here in Solaris, as your Solaris president, I believe that unity is what creates opportunities. Because if we can collaborate all together, it will allow the Solaris body and the DCLL community as well to go further than beyond expectations. Because their voices are already here, and I'll make sure all of them will be heard. Thank you. Here in Solaris, our goal is to really promote the department. Why? Because whether you think about it, DCLL is what really the world needs. We need journalists, we need writers, we need linguists. Why? They are the three impacts in the world that actually create opportunities for everyone, even in the professional world. These are the future of the future of our department and the students itself. Because I believe that although there are already political aspects in the world that we cannot avoid, we have to prioritize also which is important for us as a department. We have to focus on ourselves as a department and our students who are the future of this generation.
We want students of DCLL to be performers, or to perform outside when they graduate in school or in this university. So I will give importance of the growth of the students at the same time let them be exposed outside the university.
So I believe that we should put our interests first in promoting our orgs and in finding our voice and being heard. Should there be like an organization or a collaboration with SSC or any other political party, I believe that we should think first if it represents the interests of our DCLL students and if it benefits them.
They all have voices. Now we all need to represent a platform which is equal for them to represent their voice. Now looking back on my platform, which is like a weekly consistent print na lang, not just because like we wish to showcase like let's say mabuhat sa CCS and Calabro students, but also like we could make the departments appreciate each other's talents and uniqueness. We may be the small as we are the loudest on the DCL, and that is something that we should be proud of.
There is a division between the three programs, even though we're such a small community. And I believe that we should be working towards that change, but we can't do it suddenly for everything. Why not start internally in our systems and how we do things? And I think the consolidation and the combination of our efforts as a public relations officer, so in the PR committee, I think that's a step towards a unity and a very efficient form of communication. So for the next one, I want to focus on representation, specifically talking about one of my other platforms, which is the DCLL Member Spotlight. Its main purpose is to promote the capabilities and what the students in the DCLL can truly do. It's a representation of everyone.
I want to work with everyone here with our list of officers to erase that stigma, to make the people know that joining organizations aren't as bad as it seems. Because when you join an organization, you commit yourself by trying to essentially water a tree that's already grown. I suppose our goal here is to inspire others to continue and do the good deeds that have been done by our current and our previous term. Pave the movement forward and ensure the torch is passed on, but this time with greater fire. Thank you.
Again, the question is, how do you intend to ensure budget security in your plans should you plan to implement big events for the next school year?
As the current treasurer right now, first of all, I can really say it came from nothing to something that a sub-org should never have, like a budget that's really out of our hands. And what we did is that we had like small initiatives, and then we had like our own year levels from Seoul like collaborate with us. Everyone eventually stepped up, and that helped us with like fundraising. Other than that, for this coming term, I really would like to open for like corporate sponsorships, of course. When we're trying to like cater to events, we need more than just what we have. We have to step out of our box. So for incoming term, I hope that we eventually have to do that.
First and foremost, I think, speaking as the future Palabra president, so I'm speaking within that lens, a good way is to make programs that people want to go to. But again, if all else fails, I can just do CAD and make them mandatory to events. So yes.
From my experience in Seoul Pacific 2024, there are actually many artists who are not part of Suryap already asking us, when's the next Suryap? How do we apply? And of course, the only thing we can answer is, wait for updates at Salamis page. But one thing I want to visionize for Suryap Sasining is that to also ensure that these other artists who want to join, to give them the opportunity to also go. Because if you think about the Suryap Sasining 2024, it really gave these artists the opportunity to show their artwork, but we don't realize that there's a wide spectrum of artists out there. But it's more also balancing with the sub-orgs. So we have to also balance out the sub-orgs and the artists as well. Because the concern, like it was mentioned earlier, is that sub-orgs didn't get the highlight, which is the main purpose. So yeah, that's why my vision is more of a balancing, but to also give opportunities to more artists. Because, like I said earlier, just from the first 2 days, we have people already asking, how do we join, how do we apply? But we have to plan it out properly alongside my Solaris officers because they have visions for Suryap, and we have to also collaborate with their visions and to see what they really expect. Now, the partnerships and sponsorships are a vital role to Suryap. So we have to also go beyond what we had last year, or let's say this year. But since we don't have to focus on the same partnership, although there are some that we have to maintain because of course they are really, with the DCL for so long, or let's say they play a big impact to more of the budget. But we also have to go extend beyond it by going for more partnerships from other companies, sponsorship from others as well. Because I think that the difference between this is that partnerships and sponsorships, although some would say that we have to abide by some of the rules, we have to also give them our way of how we can do it, like to give a mutual understanding towards it. That way, Suryap, the next upcoming year, 2025, will be more than what it was this year. But it does not say that the fact that Suryap this year was not that great. It's great, but we can make it ×2, and I'm sure that all of us can do it together.
Kami, we're planning manggod to increase the semestral fee. So ko lang, since we're planning to increase it, would you guys be in support? Actually, I accept na ma-increase again ang budget. But it doesn't have to be like so heavy na tuhatang nilasan. Pero yes, agree ko na okay ako for the increase of semester fee personally. If we are going to increase the semester fee, I propose na maybe they could not complete it in one day. Maybe propose like every quarter, 1/4 of the payment and then 1/4 of the payment, 1/4 of the payment. So like it would be not too heavy to bump on them na before the end of semester fee we ask 150. Maybe they could just pay like 40, 40, 40 until makompleto nila na. And then there would be rewards or like shout outs to people who completes it. Like that's my proposal lang.
I am for the increase of the semestral fees because I believe, and you've seen with Solyap how amazing it is, as Daniel pointed out. I believe with the increase of semestral fees, this is not only to cater to like our events like those, but even as well as to like the betterment of our organization as a whole. Because this, at the end of the day, the amount you're paying for is all still catered to you. And that's all. Thank you.
We cannot deny that in organizations, there would probably be members who are, 1, inactive, 2, not proactive, and 3, no initiative. Now my question for you, as the future servant leaders of Solaris is, what would you do with these members and how would you push them to be more proactive in their roles?
One platform that I promote, personal platform, is GIA. It is a peer mentorship. So yeah, I think that will be a great help to guide students to be more engaging, especially the officers would be more engaging to be part of the organization and to be active because they will be more guided by the officers at the same time the advisors of each and every peer.
You can already tell that in the future, when you have really good visions and not idealistic, but like ambitious events, how do you plan to redirect rejection? And how do you make it possible na you don't also sacrifice the promises that you've given to the student body? Thank you. What we have to do is we have to mitigate, we have to manage like, if we don't have this venue, let's find something else. We'll have to do makeshift things. If we don't have this venue and we can't do this program, okay, let's do another program instead. It's about that. It's just mitigating things into another event, another venue, whatever it is. It's just more planning and more managing in our part.
How will you ensure the equal division of workloads, considering that there are 3 secretaries, the internal, external, and assistant?
So we have to communicate with one another and communicate with the president ourselves. So you don't get things done by yourselves. We're not Batman. We are officers of Solaris. We get to do things by communicating with one another, making sure that our vision becomes a reality. Let's say an event comes on and I have to be the one to file the papers. While I file the papers, I would obviously ask questions. Hey, what's this? Hey, when is this? What time? Hey, I would be asking questions continuously so that I can get the answers I want. It's up to me. It's up to you whether you want to take on all the load or whether you want to split the load with someone else. But in the end, it's all down to communication.
Just a simple question. After having been with 2 different sets of ex-secom officers, I just want an honest answer. No sugarcoating, no whatever. Why are you running for a post in Solaris ex-secom? Why are you here, in short?
I want to be a president that actually shows that I myself can be myself, but at the same time, we in the Solaris officers can be our own, but we have to put that in collaboration. The other reason why I ran for Solaris president as well, Sir Ken, is because I believe that you have guided me since I was still a vice president for Palabra. And I got to gain the experience from also Kuya KJ and Ate Tercia, seeing the perspectives from these other Solaris ex-secoms, and look at the other streets of other officers, not just from Solaris, CCS, ELS, and Palabra as well. Then let me realize that I will have the capability, not I do, I will have the capability, or I do have. But if I have to be honest, Sir Ken, without question, sir, just watch us, sir. We will show that we will do our best for Solaris, because if you believe in us, sir, then we'll also keep striving, sir.
So first of all, I ran for this position because it was a public initiative by the students. At the same time, bigger people who encouraged me to run in this position. Even though I'm not interested in this position, but I guess I needed it because I needed to develop my skills for my future career.
So when I was younger, when I was in high school, I always told myself, if nobody's gonna do it, I might as well do it. I decided to run because I want to be able to have bigger, better events for Solaris and DCLL all in all. With your guidance, sir, I believe that I'll be able to, I'll be able to fulfill the wishes of DCLL and the previous officers, my predecessors.
I just felt like I needed to do this. I'm obligated to do this, and I want to get really personal about this. I was not active at all during senior high and junior high. I always knew I was capable, and I had so many ideas, I had so much energy, but that fear of getting out of my comfort zone really prevented me from doing anything with my capabilities and whatever skills I had, and that was really something I regretted, and now is the chance. I still believe I have the same capabilities, but the difference now is I want to do that for my peers. I want to prove to everyone and to myself that I can still come back.
So since I stepped in San Carlos, I have been so welcomed by this community, like with Solaris taking a shot on me for letting me host, for everyone else for taking a shot on me and trusting that I can lead them, for everyone else outside of our department for taking a shot on me and whenever it is happen. I have been so grateful for all of the opportunities given to me that I decided eventually I want to accept this role as Assistant Secretary because I would also want to impart the same opportunities that were given to me by my predecessors.
I realized I wanted to step up. I wanted to do it. I have plans, I have vision, and I believe I do have integrity despite my experiences. And it is with great passion to do like service for your fellow students, classmates.
Diba, no sugarcoating. The past Palabra officers, like they felt like they were forced because we're so small, so someone had to fill that role. But the fact that we're so small, though it may be a weakness, also proves that there can be like such a tight-knit community and a sort of camaraderie here. There's a really good dynamic that me and my batch have, who are going to be the future Palabra presidents. And I think why I'm running is because basically it's because of them. They put their faith in me.
Originally, I intend to keep working on the publication as to continue like chronicling. But na-inspire gid ko sa Soli Absasini. I think that was a turning point. And I thought na, you know, if students, a bunch of students can make something like this happen, it's more than just students. They're DCLL students. And I'd like to be a part of that history, Masad. So the opportunity presented itself.
I want to listen and find the voices of our future combat students and hearing them out and delivering service to them.
Honestly, I never had intention to take up a position in Solaris itself. When I saw that there was like elections for Solaris coming out, like if you want to volunteer or not, I just saw it and thought, oh, how would that feel like? But then I just brushed off the thought and like, oh, I'll just be okay with a position in Seoul rather. But then the opportunity itself was presented to run for a position in Solaris, and it just made me realize that, oh, there's something more that I can contribute to and that there's something more that I could be capable of.
Honestly, the reason why I wanted to run as one of the Solaris Exicom comes from the experience I had with Bonita girls. Seeing these sexually abused women, I thought at first na mura gid sila depressed, na totally talentless, na totally maglisod jud ko nila teach. But later on, I realized they are very enthusiastic, they are very talented. They, kanang bitang feeling na kanang na-shock na lang ko kay, they are eager to learn, they are eager to participate, they are eager to show their talents. And I thought to myself, when you interact with these sexually abused women, maka-realize jud ka na along the time, it's not a habit anymore, it's a love. Kanang there's this service sa imong heart na I really want to teach them because they're also eager to learn. So that's the main, if you're going to ask me what's my main platform, that's my main platform.
But for those who are running, please take note that it's not going to be an easy year for you because you'll have to balance being a student first and foremost and being a leader because people were clamoring for you to run for office, or that means you have people believe in you. You have the capability. Or if it's because you personally just wanted to run, that means you think you're capable of doing it. Because at the end of the day, having that particular position is not just for fame. This is not entertainment. So you've seen how the previous people work, and the only way is always up. So we intend to be better. A lot of you have been saying good things about the last event that they handled, and people were inspired. So we hope that with that inspiration comes the burning fire to actually lead the different sub-orgs and of course the entire DCLL student body. At the end of the day, we don't care about the programs because we are all coming from one department. So it should always be a leadership for all DCLL students, regardless of the program. Whoever sows division should not be tolerated. That's it. Good luck and thank you.